Imagine a boy lying in a crystal coffin, not in royal robes, but in jeans, sneakers, and a hoodie. His name is Carlo Acutis, and millions now call him a saint. Yet, not so long ago, he was simply a 15-year-old who loved soccer, coding, and video games. His story is one of faith, tragedy, and inspiration that continues to reach across the world. How did this teenager become the patron of the internet and a messenger for modern youth? This is not just the tale of a death at 15, it's the story of a new kind of sainthood. Carlo Acutis was born on May 3, 1991, in London to Italian parents. His family soon returned to Milan, where he grew up in comfort. Though his parents were not particularly religious, Carlo displayed an unusual sensitivity toward faith from the very beginning. At age 7, when most children thought only about games, he begged to receive his first communion. It was granted, and from then on, Carlo attended Mass daily, a rare discipline for a child. His quiet devotion stood out, not in a dramatic way, but in his calm certainty that God was a part of his everyday life. As he grew older, Carlo's faith deepened, but it never turned into fanaticism. By the age of 11, he was already teaching younger children about prayer and guiding them toward God. Yet, he was still every bit a regular teenager. He played soccer with friends, enjoyed video games, and adored walking his dog. His schoolmates respected him, not because he preached, but because he listened. He defended classmates who were bullied, especially those with disabilities, and treated everyone as equals. His faith blended naturally into his life, so much so that many peers never realized how deeply spiritual he truly was. Carlo's kindness was not limited to words, he lived it through action. With his pocket money, he bought sleeping bags for the homeless and called many by name. He often volunteered in soup kitchens, handing out food with a smile. On his way to school, he would stop to speak with those living on the streets, listening to their struggles. At school, he stood up for children who were bullied, especially those with disabilities. But more than a defender, he became their friend. Carlo believed every person carried the image of God, no matter their background, and treated them with dignity. Beyond his acts of service, Carlo had a passion that set him apart: computers. He taught himself programming, web design, and how to make the internet a space for good. He built websites for Catholic groups and helped elderly people learn how to use technology. His greatest project was compiling information on Eucharistic miracles, gathering stories from around the world. That online archive remains one of the most complete resources today. For this, he earned the title God's Influencer. Carlo showed that the digital world, often seen as a distraction, could become a tool for faith, learning, and inspiration. But his bright life was cut short by a cruel illness. At just 15, Carlo was diagnosed with acute leukemia. The disease advanced rapidly, giving him little time. Yet, he met the news with astonishing peace. He told his parents, "I offer all my suffering for the Pope and for the Church." Rather than despair, he focused on comforting his family, asking them not to cry. Even as his strength faded, his faith remained strong. On October 12, 2006, Carlo passed away in Assisi, the city of St. Francis, whom he deeply admired. His short life would soon ignite a worldwide legacy. After Carlo's death, his story did not fade. It grew brighter. Friends, teachers, and priests began sharing memories of his kindness and faith. His mother, Antonia, though devastated, chose to keep his legacy alive. She traveled, spoke at conferences, and showed the world his projects, especially the website on Eucharistic miracles. Carlo's grave in Assisi became a place of pilgrimage where teenagers, parents, and elderly people came to pray. Visitors often shared stories of answered prayers. A woman healed from cancer, another who became pregnant after years of infertility. These testimonies spread online, and slowly, the boy in a hoodie became a figure of hope far beyond Italy. One of the most powerful moments in Carlo's journey to sainthood came through reported miracles. In Brazil, during a 2013 prayer service, a 6-year-old boy named Mateus prayed while touching Carlo's t-shirt. He had been born with a pancreatic defect, yet 3 days later, doctors confirmed he was completely healed. Years later in Costa Rica, a young woman named Valeria suffered a severe brain injury after a fall. Doctors gave no hope, but her mother prayed through Carlo's intercession. Against all odds, Valeria woke from her coma and fully recovered. These healings, confirmed by church commissions, became official miracles attributed to Carlo. These recognized miracles cleared the way for his beatification and later canonization. In 2020, Carlo's body was exhumed, and to the amazement of many, it was found partially incorrupt. His face appeared whole, as if peacefully asleep. Placed in a crystal coffin, dressed in his usual jeans and hoodie, he became known as the Saint in Sneakers. This image broke centuries of tradition and deeply resonated with young people. The Vatican recognized the miracles as authentic, and Carlo was declared a saint, the youngest in modern times. His canonization was not just a church event, it was a global moment of inspiration. Carlo's sainthood carries powerful symbolism. For centuries, saints were monks, nuns, or martyrs who seemed far removed from ordinary life. Carlo, however, was a teenager of the modern world, someone who played PlayStation, walked his dog, and coded websites. His sainthood shows young people that holiness is not about withdrawing from society, but living with love, kindness, and purpose in everyday life. Carlo also proved that technology can be used for good, not just for distraction. His website on Eucharistic miracles remains a lasting contribution. Even Pope Francis highlighted his message. We are all born originals, but many die as copies. Don't let that happen to you. Yet, Carlo's canonization also sparked debate. Supporters believe his recognition was entirely divine, proof that God raises saints from every generation. Critics, however, suggest the Vatican saw an opportunity. In a time when youth drift from faith, a relatable teenage saint could bring them back. To skeptics, his sainthood was not only spiritual, but strategic. The truth may lie somewhere in between. Whether divine providence or practical timing, the fact remains. Carlo's life touched millions. He represents the possibility of faith in an age of screens, technology, and doubt. His story challenges both believers and skeptics to look deeper. Today in Assisi, people gather every day before Carlo's crystal coffin. Some arrive with desperate petitions, others whisper words of gratitude, and many stand in silence, moved simply by his presence. His image in sneakers and a hoodie does not distance people, it draws them closer. Young visitors especially see themselves in him, someone who loved games, technology, and everyday joys, yet lived with extraordinary faith. For some, Carlo is living proof that sainthood belongs not only to monks or mystics, but also to ordinary life. For others, he is a sign of how the Church seeks to reach new generations. Yet, beyond debates, his story carries undeniable power. Carlo's life was brief, but his light shines brightly across the world. He showed that holiness is not about escaping daily life, but transforming it with kindness, courage, and purpose. Whether you see him as a saint chosen by God or as a modern symbol of inspiration, his message remains universal. From soccer fields to computer screens, from helping the homeless to building websites, Carlo proved that faith can be lived everywhere. His crystal coffin is not an ending, but a beginning, a window of hope, reminding millions that true greatness comes from love.